Well, it's official. TSM's League of Legends team have had their worst split ever in their 9-year history. They've been North American champions 7 times. They've competed in all 18 splits of the LCS, and they've made playoffs every single time until now. This is their all-time low. Here's how it happened. Well, would you look at that? It's me, Danny Burke, talking about TSM yet again. If that sounds like your cup of tea, then make sure you're subscribed to theScore esports. It's not just me on the channel either, believe it or not. And we don't just talk about TSM or League of Legends. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Trust me, you won't regret it. So, TSM are not going to be in the LCS playoffs. There's something I thought I would never say.
Someday, directly in the base, he takes down the Nexus turret. So no, TSM, if you can't make this stand, you have officially, for the first time, missed out on playoffs in the history of the organization. 100 Thieves out on top.
To be honest, even as the losses were racking up, there was still a chance they could make it. I was hanging out in the TSM Discord, and there was genuine hope that if the results fell the right way for them, TSM could do what they've done every year since 2013 and make playoffs. But it was always going to be a tall order. After the first 4 weeks of the LCS, they'd only won a single game and sat bottom of the table with a 1-8 record. Statistically though, they still had a chance to make it. In week 7, TSM fans were running dangerously low on hopium supplies after TSM not only had their first 2-0 weekend, but took down top of the table Cloud9 in the process.
Mika goes in and he finds Summit. He'll get right back out without even losing Guardian Angel. Ladies and gentlemen, where were you when last place TSM dismantled first place Cloud9 and absolutely schooled them? GG, TSM win.
Now, before we go any further, full disclosure, I have to admit that I am a TSM fan, but if you've watched any of my videos over the past few months, you'll know that I try to not let it interfere with my job most of the time. But after witnessing that victory, I and a lot of other TSM fans were pretty much maxed out on hopium. Not to go and win the whole thing, but just to make playoffs. And I mean, that's kind of understandable. For a lot of fans, the memory of summer 2020 was still at the back of their minds when TSM went on an insane lower bracket run to win the LCS against all odds. The difference there, of course, was that Bjergsen and Doublelift were there, helping TSM to one final victory in what would be the last time both of them played for the team. Little did TSM fans know, this would basically be the last happy memory for them, a year and a half ago. The team failed to pick up a single win at Worlds, crashing out in the group stage with a 0-6 record. But if 2020 was the year the TSM car began to break down, 2021 was the year the wheels really came off. Now, some of you guys may know the story from this point. You might have seen me talking about it in previous videos, so we're not going to get too bogged down with it. Swordart was brought into the team from the LPL, a veteran superstar support who had just played in a Worlds final, literally the pinnacle of League of Legends. In the regular season, with Bjergsen as their coach, TSM finished second in spring that year and first in summer, but were unable to convert that form when it came to playoffs, failing to qualify for Worlds for the 3rd time in 4 years. And then people started leaving. First it was TSM's president Lena, Bjergsen went to Team Liquid to become a player again, and then just before the season started, general manager Path was gone too. Their off-season was also plagued by a very public bust-up between Doublelift and TSM CEO Reggie, with Doublelift accusing his former boss of bullying TSM staff and players. We've done a whole bunch of videos on that, but at the moment we're waiting on the findings of a Riot investigation and a TSM internal investigation into the matter. Now, I don't care how big or tough your org is, that is a rough start for anyone. It also came at a time when TSM had brought unproven Chinese talent into the team. While Kaido and Shenyi have had promising flourishes at times, they've not been the saviours that some fans had hoped for. In fact, they've sometimes managed to get themselves wrapped up in the drama themselves. Both players have been moved to the academy teams at various points, and in February a Reddit post claimed to show the transcript of an alleged phone call between Shenyi and a former teammate, where Shenyi appears to claim that TSM didn't think his shot calling was good enough. Between the losses and the drama, we thought that things couldn't get any worse for TSM, but then their long-standing coach Peter Zhang was fired amid allegations that he was accepting money to ensure players a spot on the team, acting as both agent and coach. Look, TSM not making playoffs is a shock to anyone who's watched the LCS for more than 5 years, but if you add up all the shit that's happened over the past 6 months, it starts to make a bit of sense. There's two questions now. What went wrong and what will TSM do next? Well, the first question can only really be answered by people close to the team, but from the outside looking in, it seems like things have crumbled from the top down. The culture at the top of the org has been shaken up a lot over the past year with some key figures leaving. Maybe that's had an effect on the players, or maybe it's something else entirely. But something definitely seemed wrong with TSM's management when former President Lena claimed that former General Manager Path literally didn't want this roster of players in the first place. That's not great for upper management, but imagine being one of the players and hearing that. Being a TSM player has come with immense pressure and expectation in the best of years. Imagine being one now. Team Liquid owner Steve Aronset was recently asked what he would do if he was in charge of TSM to fix the problem. He spoke of rebuilding trust, of establishing leadership, but when it came to the team itself, he didn't hold back.
I would just rebuild the roster, probably. I have no idea what's going on over there. I really don't. So I don't want to make it seem like I do. I really don't. But at least from outside looking in and things on Reddit and, comments and passive aggressiveness and just all the back and forth and drama and stuff, it just feels like time to just rebuild.
That makes sense, but I guess the next question is, when do you do it? Are TSM really going to blow up their whole roster before summer? What if the players aren't the problem? What if it's the staff or the environment? It's hard to tell. I watch TSM Legends every single week, and although you can glean some insight into the inner workings of the org, it's obviously still a sanitized version for the public. In TSM's end of split Twitter post, they told fans they were looking forward to showing them something different in the summer. That could mean different personnel, it could mean a different performance, it could just be something to give fans hope. Who knows? I think it's important to give other teams credit too. It's not like they've not improved. Team Liquid, for example, have finally put the 4th place memes behind them in recent years and look like genuine contenders to win any split. Cloud9 have continued to be solid where TSM have faltered, especially at Worlds. 100 Thieves are looking to prove to everyone that their title win last summer wasn't just a fluke, that they're here to stay. In fact, you could even argue that they've replaced TSM in the Big Three. Teams around TSM have improved over the last few years, while TSM themselves have fallen off a bit of a cliff, which makes the whole thing look even more dramatic. But, as TSM said in their Twitter post, 2022 isn't over yet. There is still time to turn things around. But the team not making playoffs for the first time ever is huge. The question now is, will it be remembered as the moment TSM fixed things and righted the ship, or just another landmark in their ongoing descent? Well, it's official. TSM have had their worst ever split in the LCS in their 9-year history. Well, it's official. TSM have had their